him. He wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, technology's interfering with other technology. Pisces started when?
On the 19th.
Good thing that we're not doing a test. I had to give you the answer.
Why would we be doing any kind of test?
Because maybe this is a lesson for some people. Maybe they're learning.
But why would you be testing me? If it's for somebody else.
Pisces started on February 19th. It is a feminine sign. It's mutable.
Mutable and water.
It is a water sign.
I'm fixed air.
Mutable Pisces can't separate itself emotionally from whatever it is exposed to. While this is the source of Pisces' well-deserved reputation for compassion, it's also the source of your desire to escape reality. Planets in this sign feel everything, for better or worse. So they need time alone to unload and reassemble themselves. Exposure to others, especially in the crowd, is exhausting to your...
What?
Behave.
Damn.
Exposures to others, especially in crowds, is exhausting to a Pisces planet. Here is where you may have a tendency to take in stray people and animals, and where you'll need to watch for possibility of being victimized or taken advantage of in some way. Pisces see the best in a person or situation, and when reality steps in, they sometimes can be disappointed. Pisces are the romantics of the zodiac. Let them dream in healthy ways. Okay? Now, paranormal report from earthfiles.com. More information will be told about what I'm about to talk about on Coast to Coast at 2 a.m. from the reporter of Earth Files from earthfiles.com, and you can check this out. But she's going to be talking about the bat die-off and what are they suspecting about it.
Oh, the white nose.
Yes, it is increasing at such an
That
alarming
fungus,
rate,
yeah.
And that now the DEP and the EPA is suspecting that insect blooms, or there's going to be an overpopulation of insects and infestation of insects.
Due to the depopulation of the bats, which would normally be feeding on these critters.
But I will be actually listening to this, and I will update the audience on...
Yeah, for some reason they're catching some kind of a fungus that grows on their noses and their muzzles and their faces. It's called white nose
fungus.
And it eventually kills them because it puts their radar out of whack and they can't eat.
Yeah. So if you want to hear the whole interview from Earth Files, her report on the bat die-off, check out Coast to Coast. The woman that reports from earthfiles.com.
Oh, all right.
Okay, go to Coast to Coast.
AM.com. Memorial that does the bats.
No, not Jerry Griswold.
All right.
On February 26th at February 26th at 2 a.m. And now on to our spiritual update. Anybody interested in Sylvia Brown's webcast? It will be held this Wednesday, February 25th at 9 p.m. at www.spiritnow.com. Now, that's www.spiritnow.com for Sylvia Brown's webcast.
I think you have a tendency not to give me one of those papers just because you don't want to hear me talk.
And then the paranormal report, you can go to www.earthfiles.com and check out more information about the bat die-off. And you can hear her interview at coasttocoastam.com.
Yeah, or you can look up the white nose fungus, or you could look up, bats in general. And one of those websites will definitely take you to the epidemic that's killing them off now.
For someone who don't speak a lot, you speak a lot.
I gotta put in my 2 cents worth whether I know what I'm talking about or not.
Okay, well, why don't we start off?
Okay, like we said, our show was mainly going to be about Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, who was one of the very well-known psychics of the last century. He has, since passed away, but we are still working on and unveiling a lot of the secrets and a lot of the
truths.
A lot of the foretelling or the prophecies that he did while he was in his trances. All right, this is foresaw the collapse of Soviet Union and communism.
You see why I don't have her speak often? Sorry.
Casey predicted the failure of communism and the collapse of the Soviet Union. Casey's words, despite all disbelief, were fulfilled in 1991 when the Soviet dissolved as a nation, abandoned communism, and instituted economic and political freedom. Now, if anybody remembers that, it was under Ronald Reagan, and it was the whole disintegration of the wall.
What was that? Gorbachev, take this wall down.
All right. Foresaw the alliance of Russia and U.S. Casey foresaw that Russia would one day become America's ally. Russia, he said, would be guided by friendship with the United States. The Soviet Union's attempt to rule not only the economic but the mental and spiritual life of its people was doomed to failure. Casey's vision came true after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. Foresaw Russian religious freedom and religious movement. Casey predicted a strong religious movement would come out of Russia after the collapse of the Soviet Union. And in 1991, the fall of the Soviet Union and atheistic communism occurred as Casey predicted. The resulting freedom to practice religion released a flood of Russian spirituality.
Did you know that the Russians were very spiritual to begin with?
They've been suppressed. Of course, everybody has a right and a belief and a religion, but when you're suppressed and you're not outwardly able to show that religion or that belief, once you're uncovered, you're going to go out and you're going to show it off.
That not only that, but
you're going to gather in masses instead of gathering in cellars.
Before Russian communists took over, they were very spiritual and very religious.
Yeah, but it was kept behind closed doors.
Well, no, before communists and while there was the Tsar and the royal family, they were the religion was permitted. Part of the revolution.
They've been very, between Hitler and between the Tsars and between the different things that happened, they've always had to be very hush-hush about their beliefs.
Casey discovered scientific facts which were later verified to be true.
Yes, Casey provided many descriptions of the workings of the world and the cosmos. Many of them seemed implausible in his day, but during the past 50 years, none of Casey's comments about science or the natural principles of how the cosmos works has been unproven. Many have been proven, and more of his ideas have come to form the basis of modern science. Casey described part of the fundamentals of what would become the sciences of weather and earthquake prediction. In the later part of the 20th century, easily 30 years ahead of scientists, he predicted the existence of a ninth planet, Pluto,
dwarf planet,
many years in advance, and the discovery of major quantities of gold on the bottom of the ocean, which was discovered in the 1970s. He also attributed the main cause of motion in the Earth's tectonic plates and crust to the motions and relationships of the planets, which the trilogy thoroughly documents as an important scientific discovery. It's during all this commotion with the tectonic plates and the crust and the moons and the motions, we're due for some stuff according to 2012 as well, with the alignment of the planets, with the alignment of the center of the galaxy.
That's going to be